All right, today is June 9th, 2026. And today I wanted to talk about how being more fortunate than someone else or your peers doesn't invalidate your problems. So I wanted to talk about this because there will be times where I think, I have a problem that I'm dealing with, but then I'll hear other people around me talk about other problems, and theirs just seems so much worse than mine. And then, it makes me appreciate, okay, it could always be worse, and I should be appreciative of the more fortunate situation I'm in. But when you do this all the time, you don't let yourself accept any of your problems, if that makes sense. I used to not see any of my problems as problems. I wouldn't validate my own problems, so I wouldn't be able to... I don't really know how to say this, but I would ignore my own well-being and giving myself closure on my own problems, because I would tell myself that these aren't real problems. You should just be happy with how you are. And although it's true, you should be happy to be as fortunate or being in a better situation as you. But at the same time, you can't just dismiss all of your own problems, because then you're never going to face them. No matter how stupid your problem might sound, if it's giving you anxiety, if it's affecting your mental health, or just causing any sort of damage, no matter how silly you think it is, it's still a problem. And you should be okay accepting that it is a problem and not have to tell yourself that it's not. I don't really know how deep I can get into this, because I haven't thought about it too much, but it just kind of crossed my mind a little bit. But cause the way I think about it is, there's some people in countries in poverty where their stresses and their problems are directly linked to their own survival. And obviously, that's more dire of a situation than any problem I will probably have. But when you're mentally always in that state, and that's how your problem is, that's the problem that you're always dealing with, that dire life or death, the anxiety you get from that probably levels out, just because you're used to that all the time, used to that stimulus. Your body over time gets used to it. And for first world problems, people in the US, maybe more mental health stuff, because you actually have time to focus on your mental health, and you have more space for things to fester mentally, because you're not always trying to survive. I feel like that stimulus is probably very, this anxiety you get, well, I could be completely wrong on this, but this is the way it makes sense to me, is your baseline for anxiety is, your baseline for things that cause anxiety lowers based on how well you are off, but that doesn't change the amount of anxiety you get from it, if that makes sense. Some less serious things might cause the same amount of anxiety for you as a more serious thing for someone else. So that anxiety is real, and therefore that problem is still real. So you can't just dismiss yourself and say it's not. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got.